Welcome to 7DSystem. I'm the D&G, and this is more about the rules for 7DSystem. And we're going to talk about protection and protection value, normally armor and things to that effect, and how does it actually work. These videos are made possible by the generous donations from patrons on patreon.com/7DSystem that's helping to bring this game to fruition. So protection value and checks. When you're wearing armor and you are struck by a weapon, the armor may protect you from that blow. That is the essence of the whole mechanic. So it's more that the armor negates damage than it actually reduces damage. So armor is not always going to save you, but it does save you on occasion. So protection value is referred to as PV. If you have a look at the character profile sheet, you'll see the PV values that are expressed there. And that is a value from 0 through to 7. 0 being absolutely no roll whatsoever. So you don't have any armor and you don't have any tough scales or anything like that that will protect you. So if you're hit, you're going to take damage, and there's not a lot that's going to negate. As you're acquiring armor and shields and these sort of things, they will then apply additional advantages to your protection value. So your protection value will rise, and then when you have certain types of weapons attacking you, certain armors will have better protection against different types of weapons. So for instance, a piece of leather armor will give you a PV boost of +1. So if you have nothing else, you just get a PV of 1, which means you're rolling d20s. So protection value, you roll against the protection table, and that is, so 1 is d20s, 2 is d12s, 3 is d10s, etc., all the way to a value of 7, which is d2s. Now, as I said, leather armor gives you a +1, but if the person is using a slashing weapon, you get an extra +1, so it goes to 2. So instead of rolling d20s, you're rolling d12s. If you roll a success, so that's a 1 on those dice, you then automatically negate any damage that they're causing, regardless of how much damage it is. So it's not going to save you all the time, but it may save you some of the time. So if you have a look on the 7dsystem.com website, you will see under resources, there is a list of the different genres, and the armors that are in there give you an idea of what sort of protection values you're going to get from various different armors. The first thing you'll notice is that they're not very high. So you think, well, why is plate mail only giving me a +2 and I get a +1 bonus versus bludgeoning and slashing weapons, which makes it a +3 most of the time out of a possible 7? Well, this is because armor negates all the damage rather than just some of the damage. So increasing the likelihood that you're actually going to save from damage does, of course, extend the length of combat. And consider again that every single creature has only 7 injuries. So armor in this sense really is a bonus to attempt to save. There are other pieces of armor that have different effects. So for instance, if you're wearing a helmet doesn't give you any kind of protection bonus, other than the fact that you can sacrifice the helmet to prevent stuns. A shield does give you a bonus to PV, so you can have a shield that's giving you a +1. But again, a shield can also be sacrificed to negate an entire attack, which again is an all or nothing. So you can just have your shield using its standard protection, it's giving you +1. Or if you really need to stop the damage, you can just sacrifice the shield. As a standard shield with a quality value of 1, that means the shield is destroyed. Weapons and armor of higher quality value can withstand being sacrificed several times, but we'll go into that in a later video. Things like gauntlets protect against disarming. So if you're wearing gauntlets, you have your weapon locked into your hand, so you can't be disarmed. So if you're wearing shoulder pads, those basically protect you from disability or loss of your arms. Greaves protect against the disability or loss of legs. And if your character has a coif, that is to protect against head loss, which is fatal in any game. So even though it seems like armor doesn't protect you very much, if you watch some of the demo games, you will notice there have been times where people have taken large number of injuries that have been negated on a D20 roll or a D12 roll or even a D10 roll, and you know, that's when the sheer luck of it comes into it. Now, if you weren't wearing any armor, you wouldn't even had that chance. Again, because it's all or nothing. So that's how armor increases your protection value. What also increases your protection value is cover. So you may have a protection value of 3 if you've got a lot of armor on, but then if you're also behind cover, you then get bonuses to that as well. So the protection value increases because of the circumstances of where you are. If you're also fighting with your allies and you're in base-to-base contact, or you're right next to each other in combat, you also get a protection value from the fact that your buddy may actually just be throwing his sword as he's flailing around attacking the enemy. His sword is adding protection to you while you're defending against attackers. Also, being larger than your opponent gives you more protection value as well. So your sheer size means that their weapons are not as effective against you. That's just to increase the PV value. And then what we're talking about is PV dice. So the last thing that adds to PV value is the range that the attacker is coming from. So if someone is firing from medium range or further away, you get a bonus to your protection because the weapon is not going to be as effective from a longer range. So as a standard, for PV, you get a single dice to roll. So that would be from D20 all the way down to D2. However, there are things that will increase the number of dice that you have. If you have cover directly in front of you, you get 2 bonus protection dice. So if you have 1 as a standard, you'd now be rolling 3 dice. So even though your PV may only be 1, if you've got cover in front of you, you're now rolling 3 D20s. If your PV value was 3, with your cover in front of you, you'd now be rolling 3 D10s. If you've gained ranks in the dodge expertise, so there are 2 ranks that you can gain in that. So first of all, you need physical, and then you need agility, and then you get dodge. So in that expertise, if you have 2 ranks, each of those ranks gives you an additional dice. 1 for each rank. If you have ranks in parry, you also get additional dice for each rank in parry. There's a caveat to that you have to have a weapon in your offhand as well. So you have to have 2 weapons in order to use the parry ability. This gives you additional protection dice as well. And then finally, there's a size bonus. So if you double the size, you double your dice. If you triple the size, you triple your dice. If you're 5 times the size, it's 5 times the dice. Now, you always do this multiplier at the end. So if you're a single dice character wearing leather armor and you're behind cover, you're rolling 3 dice, and you are 3 times the size, you now roll 9 dice. So even though it seems like leather armor is not giving you a huge bonus up front, when you start to stack everything on top of it and you become more proficient in things like parrying and dodging and using cover, you will be more likely to get a save from the armor. For more information on the protection, you can check out the system reference sheet, and that is available from the website in the download section. Of course, if you like this video, click the like button, check out the website 7DSystem.com. You can also check out Facebook and Twitter /7DSystem and patreon.com /7DSystem. And I'll see you in the next video.